stay tuned and I will tell you how to maintain a fresh breath all day long. Imagine being close to your crush, be it male or female, only for you to open your mouth and the person has to move back. Yo. Or imagine just being in a conference meeting just to air your suggestion, you want to say something, and then everybody's like,
oh my god, where's that smell coming from?
Just because you have a bad breath. That can be very, very embarrassing. So if you're that person that has been fighting so hard with bad breath, then this video is for you. Welcome back to Rome's Menu and Glamour. Welcome back, RomeRockers. In this video, as you can already see from the title, I'll be telling you how to maintain fresh breath all day long. You don't have to worry about mouth odor or whatever. For those of you that don't know, this is actually an episode 2 of this video. I'm generally doing a series of how to smell good. So you know, how to smell good doesn't only deal with one part of the body. You have the mouth, you have the body, you have the feet, and you have your pubic parts, your private areas. I already did the first episode which dealt with body and armpits and all of that, so I'm going to link it up here. After watching this video, please do check the card to get those tips as well. Talking about smelling good from the mouth, the first thing we should consider that we can obviously not miss is, of course, brushing and flossing. That is the first thing you should talk about when you want to prevent mouth odor. I feel like when we were in secondary school, they didn't teach us anything about flossing that much. I don't know about you guys, but me, in my secondary school, they didn't tell me about flossing at all. Guys, like, I just had to start finding out that, okay, flossing is a thing. We need to floss. We need to, you know, brushing and flossing, they are two different things. They are so different. They're not even the same thing in any way. Brushing is the general one everyone should know, like taking your toothbrush and you brush everywhere in your teeth in different patterns and you spit it out. Brushing removes particles from your mouth. They remove food particles and all of that from your mouth. What flossing does is to lift and release food particles or plaque that have been stuck in the gums. That is what flossing does. It lifts it and releases it, not remove. It just lifts and release. So after lifting and releasing all those food plaques that have been stuck in the gum, you don't want to leave it in your mouth. So you have to floss first and then brush. That's the pattern. You cannot brush and floss. Imagine brushing first, then you floss. You are first removing the food particles, and after removing the food particles, you now go back to release the one that is in the gum and leave it in your mouth. How does that make sense? So you try as much as possible, even though I know, let's be sincere, it's not easy actually. It's not easy to do twice in a day, but that's the best thing to do actually. Brushing twice in a day and flossing once. So you can decide to floss every night, you can decide to floss every morning, any one of the two, but always make sure you floss before brushing. Second thing to prevent mouth odor and to have a fresh breath all day long is scraping your tongue. Bro, you need to scrape your tongue. There's this like whitish coat that always forms on the tongue. That coat is a very good host for bacteria. It can host bacteria so well. You cannot prevent that coat from forming. It forms as long as you eat every day. That coat would always form. If you don't take that coat out regularly, it can start harboring bacteria in your mouth, and then you brush every day but you're still having mouth odor and you're like,
what's going on? I'm brushing well, I'm doing this well,
but bro, you're not scraping your tongue. So you want to make sure you always scrape your tongue 3 times weekly, because you know the tongue is very delicate. So you scraping every day is not necessary. So now you might be asking,
how am I supposed to scrape my tongue? Like, what am I supposed to use?
There's this thing they call a tongue scraper. In any pharmacy or, you know, any nearby store or supermarket, they should have it there. It is specially designed to scrape your tongue. Normally a brush can do it. You can just gently, while brushing your teeth, brush down your tongue gently as well. But there are certain places your brush will not reach, of course, like the back of your tongue, and that place harbors plenty bacteria. So please get a tongue scraper to scrape your tongue. When you get a tongue scraper, you can easily reach the back of your tongue and scrape down all those whitish coat. If you don't have the luxury of getting a tongue scraper, you can as well use a spoon our normal spoon. Yes, a spoon, the spoon you normally use to eat at home. You can just get it and use it if you do not want to get a tongue scraper. Number 3 thing you have to start doing to prevent mouth odor and get fresh breath all day long is getting a mouthwash. A mouthwash helps a lot. It helps you have this fresh breath, and it helps in eliminating bacteria as well. Sometimes your mouthwash can actually be your problem. Why? Because it contains alcohol. Saliva you produce in your mouth is the mouth's natural defense mechanism against bacteria, and bacteria is what causes mouth odor in the mouth. And alcohol dries out your mouth. It dries up your mouth, so it like dries up that saliva. So now imagine using a mouthwash that contains alcohol, and then the alcohol in turn is drying out your mouth and causing bacteria. Bro, like you are going into what you are trying to escape from, because at the end of the day you get that mouth odor you're trying to prevent by using mouthwash. So make sure you check the ingredients of the mouthwash you want to get. Make sure it's alcohol free. Also, there are some mouthwash that contain substances that can stain your teeth, and then your teeth will be looking all brownish and all of that. So make sure you browse well to get a very good mouthwash that would not stain your teeth, and also the one that is alcohol free. If you don't have a mouthwash, you can easily do your mouthwash at home. You can just put a cup of warm water, and then you add baking soda into it, and you add peppermint oil. Peppermint oil will help with fresh breath. Baking soda is a natural antibacterial kind of thing, so it helps in killing the bacteria that is in your mouth. And yes, you already have your do-yourself mouthwash at home, so you don't have to stress yourself to go and get mouthwash if you don't have one, and you use that to rinse your mouth daily. It helps a lot. Also, when you eat, it is advisable to use water to just like, I don't know what it's called, like should I say swish around your mouth, just that thing I would normally do. You use it, you rinse your mouth, and you can just pour it out. It helps in releasing food particles that is stuck in the mouth after eating as well. The next thing you want to make sure you're doing to prevent bad breath is avoiding alcohol. I just finished talking about how alcohol can dry up your mouth. So if you are an alcohol addict, your mouth will always get dried, and then your mouth being dry gives space or room for bacteria to come in because there is not enough saliva in your mouth, and then when the bacteria comes in, before you know it, you're having mouth odor. You don't want to have mouth odor, so please try as much as possible to reduce, even if you don't want to completely stay away from it, try as much as possible to reduce alcohol to the barest minimum. The next thing is to avoid food that can cause bad breath, e.g. onion, garlic, coffee. These things contribute hugely to bad breath. When you eat garlic, you know how your mouth smells. The same thing with onions and coffee. It has this kind of offensive smell that is try to stop eating these things raw. It is different when you use it to cook because the smell will like go away, but eating it raw, like when you want to buy suya now and then you eat the onions in it causes bad breath. Even if you finish eating it and you go and brush immediately, it's still going to be there because the substances that causes those smell, they travel down to your bloodstream, then they go to your lungs, and baby, you will start breathing that smell out. You cannot eliminate it immediately after eating it. There's nothing you want to do. So just try as much as possible anytime you're going for a conference meeting or you want to go and see your crush, avoid eating those things. Last but not the least thing you want to do to avoid bad breath and make sure your mouth is smelling nice all day long, bro, is to make sure your mouth is always moist. So I've said it a lot of times in this video that when your mouth gets dried out, it brings room for bacteria, and that causes bad breath. So please make sure you always moisten your mouth. Drink enough water during the day. And another tip for you to keep your mouth moistened at all time is chewing gum. Yes, chewing gum can, it generates saliva in your mouth, so your mouth will be moist. When you want to chew gum, you think you can just go, let me go and get chewing gum, I'll get Center Fresh, I'll get Center Field. All those gums are very bad for you. In fact, it causes bad breath because they contain sugar, and your mouth, the bacteria in your mouth actually love sugar, and when they go into your mouth, that bacteria in your mouth mixes with the sugar and they produce acid, and that acid results to bad breath. So make sure you get sugarless chewing gums like Orbit, Trident. There are a lot of them. Just when you want to get your gum, make sure you get something that doesn't contain sugar, and you are good to go. These are all the tips you need to keep your mouth smelling nice all day long. Trust me, if you do this, you can never have mouth odor. It's not even possible. You cannot have mouth odor. Like, no be juju. It's not even possible. Where does it want to come from, Ganga? Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on the next episode of how to smell good all day. And turn on the bell next to the subscribe button so you get a notification anytime I post the video. Bye.